Hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics on August 23rd, 2018. And today we had a question about the silver market from my dear friend Yara Sophia. So, what better way than to have a video? And Yara, what is the question on your mind about the silver market these days?
Well, I often hear you talk about the value of silver being really low and how the markets are being manipulated and how the dollar isn't worth what I think it is. So, how will I know what the value of silver is once it rises to whatever you think it's going to? How does that relate to the dollar?
It's a great question, one that I feel I wish were addressed more when people are talking about what is the value of silver because there's really two components when you think about it. The way I look at it is that there is what silver would be worth today with X number of dollars, where, if you figure out whatever ratio you want to use, but maybe gold a little simpler, where you have X number of ounces of gold, X number of dollars, so it's a simple fraction. Silver, you'd have some sort of ratio factor there. So there's what it would be worth with the current money supply,
Right?
and that's a very debatable number of how one could calculate that. I mean, there's room for error of how much silver is out there, how many dollars are out there, but you could calculate theoretical value X based on what we think is the amount of silver and the amount of dollars.
Okay.
Now, with that said, given that if the Fed prints more money, if as things decline, there's just more dollars in circulation, then that number is going to change. And if we do reach the outcome that, I don't know if it's unfortunate or not, because to the degree I think there's going to be a great freeing of people from this dollar currency where we're getting 1% of what the
Of the
banks have
value.
left behind. So, really, if you had a system where outside of the dollar, it's almost if we were using tulip bulbs at this point, we'd probably be better off. Um, but yes, if we get to the point where they just keep printing and it ends up in like a Weimar Germany situation, then eventually there's some point at which it really won't matter the price in dollars. In fact, what I, at least theoretically, we would head towards is that you would start thinking of my house costs X ounces of silver, or I'll trade this amount of
So the
gold for a
value
car.
instead would change to be silver instead of silver is worth this much dollars.
I mean, it's
Silver
hard to say
or
exactly
gold
how it
is
breaks
worth this
down, but
much.
certainly that's very possible that things become priced in real money, which is how, again, I believe if you look at the price of gasoline historically as measured in gold or silver, you see it's a lot more consistent than when measured in the dollar, and things
because
look
it's
like they're.
because it looks like the value or it's related to the value of the dollar as well as to the amount that we think that oil is worth at that moment.
Right. Everything we've been trained and conditioned to see things in the value of the dollar without realizing that it's not gold or silver that are going up or down. The ounce of gold or the ounce of silver is still the same piece of metal it's always been, but rather what we've seen, gold was 250 bucks in around 2001, and even though the last couple of years have been rough, it's still up to 12, 1300. So, it is being factored in, but that's not really that gold's value is changing. Gold is gold. It's really the value as perceived in dollars.
Okay.
So, again, my expectation is that as these things happen, we've already seen the real estate market slowing down, the stock market again hitting new highs. So, not slowing down that much yet, but as rates go up and these things begin to put pressure on the markets, there are a lot of folks, again, myself included, who think the printing presses will go on hyperdrive. And then, so, at some point you think you would see the price of silver going up in dollars. Now, to the degree if there's something that you want to buy and it's still priced in dollars at some point, I've thought ultimately, I don't think when the dollar is collapsing, if the price is running out of control, all right, once gold hits $10,000 an ounce, then I'm going to convert back into dollars, because if they're losing their value there is some point, whether it's a sharp finite break point or whether it happens over time. To me, there's likely going to be some point where it just doesn't matter. But again, what will be able to start thinking of, I mean, let's say silver were $50 an ounce or $100 an ounce, and you could think, all right, now I have X number of ounces of silver. Here are the goods as priced in dollars. So you can begin thinking about, in terms of silver, how are prices going. And really, silver and gold, I think you'll see both of them, prices of the goods in terms of silver and gold, will come down drastically. So the people that have real money, to the degree, if my analysis is correct and the metals are underpriced, they're going to see things come down in value, which again is one of the reasons why I've advocated holding physical gold and silver in particular for quite a while. So it's a tricky one, because there's where it is now, and then when you factor in what's going to happen. So anytime you're reading any forecasts about this is the value of gold or this is the value of silver, what it's going to be, just worth thinking about those two variables, which I feel helps put it more into perspective. Does that help make a little more sense?
It does. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you as always for reading the columns and watching and having a great question and coming on and sharing that. Hopefully that's helpful to other people. And thanks as always for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, and we'll see you again soon.